Do this shit until they murder me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I got a little bit of an update for you guys lately on what I've been doing. So I got this all done. Actually, let me take this. Let me take the battery out. But I got it all. I got the frame for the fuel cell all done. I used some old bed frame. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I got it done. I know this that hole down there and that hole down there. That's for the mounting of the actual cell. I had to use my plasma cutter to drill that out because my drill kept walking since it's right on the weld. But it came out pretty solid. This is in there. It's got 4 mounting points. One here, one there right where the power steering reservoir is, and right there. Also, I have right where the battery sits. I have a rod welded to it with a little bit of rubber there at the bottom, so it doesn't scratch up the paint. Even though, you know, whatever, you're not going to see it. But that's just to handle the weight of the battery. But it came out pretty solid. I stood on it, and on 3 bills, this thing holds me no problem. Granted, I did use grade 8 bolts over here on the other side where the weight is actually hanging, but it works. So I added some of this material here to like kind of like a sort of metal edge because I just didn't want the fuel cell to get scratched. As you can see, this is actually what my power distribution was like before this whole ordeal. So I had this like hooked up to the battery via here, and then I just kind of hooked up everything here. This is stuff on the car that doesn't need switched power. It needs constant power, like the relay for the fuel pump, the radio. I forget what these other two are. But I know the pump for the water, the air to water stuff is now going to be switched here. So I'm just going to have to wire this into here because that does need switched. I did cut the old, I guess the old wire coming off of this, and I made a nice big junction here with this 0 gauge wire for the power. So I have an idea of how to run this. It's going to be around, kind of like in the beginning of the video here. It's going to have come around and just kind of be like this, sitting on top. And I still don't know what I'm going to do for that power distribution. I'll figure that out. Maybe I'll extend the wires or something or other. As for the negative, or I guess the ground, got this sucker over here. Same exact kind of wire, same everything. I just need to find a spade, or I guess a very big terminal for this, and it should be good to go. And I don't know if I'm going to run it back to the original spot. If you guys on an MR2, the ground is back there, way back there, hidden. I don't know if it'll focus, but way back there. This was the stock. This is the stock stuff. It's pretty short. Thought about using this long one here, as you can see, but I kind of want these to match, so I'm going to put this one on. I've been messing with actually when I mounted the fuel cell, I noticed that when these were a little off, they were kind of bent upward, so I kind of leveled them out. I'm also going to be using these rubber, I guess, washers on the bottom, so insulated from some vibrations, and it's going to be metal on metal. I got this is the vent for the top. So since this is, looking at it like this is going to be towards the firewall. This is going to be towards the front of the car, since this is where the fittings are for the feed. So I'm going to have this welded up here somewhere in the corner and just have it vent like that. And then I have another for the return. Oops. Here. So it's a 10 AN fitting into an 8 AN reducer. Just because I didn't have an 8 AN fitting to just kind of weld on here. So instead of spending the money to get another one, I already had a 10 AN aluminum welding or aluminum fitting. So I'm just going to weld it about right here. I'm going to have this kind of straight down. Whoops. Like that. So that way it returns straight to the top of the tank. Might actually angle it a little bit further over here so that actually returns right on top of the feed, but who knows? We'll see how the space is. As far as I know, that there shouldn't be any space according to my measurements, so we should be okay. What else? So you guys can check out my mountain of fittings: 8s, 10s, 12s. Jesus, I got a bunch of stuff. 8 lines, 10 AN lines, 12 AN lines, 16 AN lines. I got them all over the place. Show you guys a little bit that I did. I know I showed you guys that I had the 94 trunk lid installed now, and the paint, just because it's so cold, did not cure right. Here's a little bit of what that looks like. You can see the the fish-eyeing there. I mean, it looked perfect up until I cleared it. The regular, just the black paint looked awesome. And then I started to clear it. It didn't heat up right, it didn't seal right. So I decided to get some carbon fiber wrap for it. And that came out really nice. It's a 7D wrap that I got off of eBay. Just wanted to give it a shot because I was like, you know, what's the most I could lose? I mean, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I just wanted to cover up the really crappy paint. Although you can still see the runs and the clear there right about right there. But just because it's a heavy run. I didn't get it perfect. There's some spots over here where I just couldn't get it. I didn't get those little bubbles out. But everything else, it looks really, really good. I'm really happy with the result. It was like $16 for a 3 feet by 2 feet section shipped from eBay. So I recommend this. This stuff is awesome. It's better than the 3D stuff that, you know, everybody had back in the day. I like this glossy look, although I did kind of mess up over here. I didn't give it enough. I didn't give it enough to kind of roll over. I thought I did, but, you know, as I was stretching everything backward, I guess it's pulled back. I'm gonna have to cut that edge. A lot over there on the other side, it's fine, but up here, it's, you know, whatever. Let's see. I started taking apart the fuel system now. This was a 6AN return line, and then I completely forgot that these fittings over here on the FPR, that one that it's removed is a 6AN, and I completely forgot that I needed to get that fitting and the one on the bottom for the return. So I have those ordered. Those will be here soon. This is already an 8AN feed, so I don't have to mess with any of this except for the actual line. I need to make this a little longer since it's going to be all the way back to the front, or all the way to the front of the car. This was, like I said, 6AN. So I just got rid of the whole line, got rid of that fitting. I'll throw those on when they get here, make the line, and be done with it. Other than that, there's not a lot to go on right now. The car has kind of been sitting since I've been dealing with another one of my daily drivers. A buddy over at VTEC Performance actually got, hold on, flashes on. My buddy Albert actually finished the Volvo, one of my daily drivers, so I'm going to go pick that up today. That needed a new transmission, so I've been dealing with that. And my other daily driver, cheap little Kia that I drive around just because it gets really good mileage and it's really cheap to maintain. Just registered that today, smogged it today. Stupid drive cycle stuff. I don't know if you guys ever dealt with that, but completing a drive cycle, it really sucks. I didn't even know those things existed until like 4 years ago when I couldn't smog a car because of it. But other than that, everything's kind of going a little slower than I thought. But you know, it is colder here. I'm a little busier than normal. But as soon as I get some time, which should be this Saturday, I'm going to drop the tank in the car, and then I'm going to start running the lines for good. And at that point, I think I should have everything else figured out for the fuel system, fuel cell, battery, lines, power distribution, and I don't know what else. So aside from that, I might be going later on to, and actually I will be going later on to my buddy's shop and getting some video of the stuff he's got going on there. I know he just completed an MR2 for a buddy of mine here in Vegas. It's a complete rebuild of a 5SFE. I know it's nothing crazy like everybody else does, but it's a complete rebuild, and we just wanted the car to be reliable, and you know, it is. So there's 2 or 3 other MR2s there too, so I'll get some shots of that. But other than that, guys, there's not much else to tell. So next time we pick up, it'll be at my buddy's shop. Peace. VTEC Performance. What's up?
What's up?
Get some shots of the cars in here. It's cracking. Is the light on? Injector still on back yet? Still clogged? Still clogged?
Yeah.
Gen 3. John's car. When's the last time you drove this car?
Month ago?
Really? It doesn't hold charge though, right? 91 turbo. That's where my old turbo kit went. What's up with this Altezza? IS300. It's not going to be turboed at all? Nice. This one done yet?
This is when you inject the
Really? Your brother did the wiring on this, right?
a little bit on the front.
Looks better than already. Jesus. And this car's already running. Nice. Is he doing the exhaust yet?
He's waiting for feedback, he said.
Yeah. I told him to get him a while ago, but he was looking at Carl's. I know it looks like crap. It looks like garbage. RX-7. 2 MR2s. We got this other 3 GTE build over here where my old pistons and rods were at. Smaller Borg Warner turbo. This one's tiny. Even smaller than mine by a lot. Another K.
When are you going to get this car?
Where? When? I don't know. Last year sometime? Almost a year now. I guess a year. I think so. Almost done. Or I guess it is done. My old fuel system. Pistons, rods, head. My old setup. See if he makes 400 on it. Old transmission of my Volvo. You got motors everywhere.
Yeah.
Is that the rest of the 5S stuff on the bottom?
Yeah, the head.
Nice. My old turbo. The gigantic turbo. Jesus. It's as big as your motor. 13V. Dang. I'll just give you guys a shot of what inside a VTEC performance looks like. Mad scientist. Gonna back up. Yep. This is where all the Vegas MR2 comes and gets their work done. Everybody but me, I guess. Catch you on the next one.